Hi, my name is Christine, and today I will be going over the first Coderbyte challenge using JavaScript. Okay, so let's start by just inputting coderbyte.com into your browser. Click on Challenges, Programming over here. Alright, and on this page you'll find just a ton of different coding challenges you could do, sorted by difficulty. Yeah, so today I'm just going to start with the very first one called First Reverse. Alright, let's take this challenge. And they offer different options as far as what coding language you'd like to attempt this challenge in. Today I'll be doing it in JavaScript. Awesome, so this is the challenge. Using the JavaScript language, have the function first reverse take the str parameter being passed and return the string in reversed order. Okay, great. Let's get started on that. So before I dive right into coding, I just want to map out exactly what the function should do and kind of just create a plan of action on how to achieve that. So let's say the user inputs the string hello. What should result is the reversal of that string. In other words, just this. All right. Now, my mind ganders to the idea that in order to make this happen, I should create an empty string and push into it each element of this string here, but backwards. So instead of pushing an HELLO, I'll start from the back at O here until the very beginning. Okay, so let's code that out. Let's first start by declaring the function called first reverse. It'll have the parameter str. Great. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and create an empty string that will act as a container for the letters that I'll be pushing into it in a backwards way. So let's call it backward string. Great. And then you have to keep in mind that the user will input a string, and that string will just act as one block of a ton of letters together. And essentially, in order to tackle this problem, you're going to have to separate each individual letter and manipulate it from there. So let's go ahead and split the string that the user will input. We'll call it split string. Great. At this point, I just want to make sure that the split worked. I'm just going to log what the split will look like. Split string. Great. And then we're going to just call the function hello. So what should result from this at this point is this. Each individualized letter. Alright, so let's click on the browser. On a PC, you just have to press Control-Shift-I and then paste your code into this box here under console. Run it, and there you go. It results in the segmented string that the user input. And at this point, I just want to use JSBin. I just find it personally a little more aesthetically pleasing to deal with when I'm coding. Let's take out that. So yeah, now I just have the JavaScript on the console. Let's run it. Oh, I'm missing a semicolon, so there you go. Alright, and then click run. Awesome. Perfect, so now we have segmented elements of the string the user input at this point. Great. Now let's go ahead and remove this and this. Now at this point we want to put into this empty string whatever the user is going to input, but backwards, just a reversal of whatever they input. So we could write in a for loop to accommodate that. For var. We'll declare the counter I, and we'll start at the end of the string. So length -1. It's going to continue iterating until it reaches the 0th position. So in other words, that will be the very first letter of the string that the user will input. And it will iterate from last to first, so we'll put 2 minuses there. Okay, so at this point, all we're simply going to do is append each iteration into that backwards string. All right, and then this will be split string. All right, and then from there, after the for loop's done, we'll just return that backwards string, at which point it will no longer be empty. Great, okay, so let's go ahead and just call the function. And then we'll use the argument hello world. And let's just go ahead and print that out just so we can see this work. All right. Just paste it into here. Let's run it. Awesome. This is precisely what we're looking for. We're looking at the user inputting hello world, and it's going to output just the reversal of that string. So real quick, I just want to dive into the aspect of this code that might be a little confusing. So probably at the for loop. So what essentially is happening here is before the for loop even starts, we just have this empty string. Once the for loop starts, its iteration, it starts at the very end of the string. So let's say the string just says hello. It's going to start at the very end at the O, and at which point it's just going to be added into the backward string. So it's going to look like this. Now that's just the first iteration. The second iteration will move one down to the left, and it will, which is L over here. It will act as this right here, and it will append into backward string. So it will look like that. It will continue onwards until it reaches the beginning of the string, and we know that because we set it to the 0th position here. All right, so that's how that works. Let's go ahead and put it into Coderbyte and see what happens. All right, just take out this print right here. Now let's run our code. There's an argument that they automatically put in. It should output here in a reversed manner. Awesome, and it works great. Let's go ahead and submit it. Come on, Coderbyte. Awesome. Great, so looks like we got all the test case outputs correct, as well as the timing. Timing's pretty good. Let's just go ahead and look at our code again, though. While this code works, the question arises, is this the best way this could be coded? Like, given the circumstance of a user putting in 2 words like hello world, is this code sufficient? And I would say the answer to that is yes. I think that with just a few words, it's no big deal. It doesn't affect optimization that much. But let's say hypothetically that the user would input 10,000 words. What this function would essentially do is iterate through every single letter of every single word of 10,000 words, right? And that would be really, really slow. So the answer to whether or not this is the best code, the answer is that this isn't the best code, and that there is a better way to code this. And that's something I'll go over next time. Thank you for watching.